I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, let's do a quick, I'm going to try and keep it to about 5 minutes. Let's just do a quick market recap of the current market in Vancouver for fall 2020 here. So it doesn't, I don't need to go over what's been in the news here since this summer. The real estate market continues to be quite strong. The September numbers were the busiest for sales in record since the Vancouver Real Estate Board has been keeping track. Prices are up, sales are up, listings are up a little bit, but still below our 10-year average. There's been a flight, it's been on the news here, out to the detached market, which there has. I've had sales, lots of detached sales in Vancouver, Richmond. I just had a sale out in Delta, and I'm getting ready to list a detached home out in Surrey. Activity there is off the hook. My buyers for my Delta home I was representing, we were in multiple offers, got beat out 3 times before we actually got this one. The house we did get, it was us and 6 other offers. I'm finding that even on some of my high-end luxury homes in East Vancouver. I'm getting ready to put together a deal here on a house in the Renfrew area that's going to be very close to record-setting price for a detached home in Renfrew. So market's very strong. On that note, I would say, sometimes the media, they kind of paint it that, yeah, there's going to be this flight to the suburbs and everyone's going to buy a detached house with a big yard. And that's simply not going to be the case. I brushed on it before. I mean, it is a big step up going from a condo, whether that's a 1 or 2 bedroom condo in Vancouver, to buying a detached home in Vancouver. If you want something on the east side, just an older Vancouver special, that's maybe been fixed up a little bit, you're looking at 1.7 now, 1.8. You could get an older bungalow, maybe at 41st and Knight area there, maybe a 1,800 square foot bungalow on a standard lot. Those are now up to 1.4. It's probably only going to have 1 bathroom. You're really going to have to, rough it there for sure. But, it's a big step up going from a condo to a detached home. So that brings back my point here, it's in the news. That there's this flight from downtown Vancouver and condos are going to be hit hard next year. Well, here's what I'm seeing on the condo front. And I've said this many times. You need to be an insider like myself here to really have a bead on the condo market. You do. Because I've said many times here, there are 2 worlds of condos. There's the really high quality stuff that I am continually selling my buyers into, both as principal residents or I do a lot of work with investors. I've probably got 15 to 20 what I call grade A stratas that I'm continually selling in. These are the best of the best. Well built, good developer, usually under 10 years old, concrete of course, proactive strata, healthy contingency fund, well managed, insurance, which has gone up on all the stratas, but the insurance is manageable. Maybe they've got a $50,000 to a $75,000, $80,000 or $100,000 water deductible, so manageable. No claims really to speak of. Those are the ones I'm continuously getting into. Then there's probably another couple dozen stratas downtown and Mount Pleasant and Kits that are still very good, depending on my buyer and the price I can get them at. But, I would say at least half of everything in Vancouver, Kits, Mount Pleasant, Fairview, half the stuff for whatever reason, doesn't mean it's a complete dog, I'm just not interested in. For a number of reasons. Maybe the location, maybe an older strata, there's going to be some maintenance work that's going to be coming up, some levies. Maybe the insurance deductibles are way up. Maybe noise levels, it's a noisy unit, noisy location on a busy street or busy intersection. Maybe it's hugging up on a bridge. Poor accessibility, which is some of the ones that I find with these ones hanging on the bridges. So there's really 2 worlds of condos. What I'm finding is the real good prime ones, those are selling. And in some cases, we're getting multiple offers. I'm in bidding wars on these still. Not as many bidding wars, of course, that we had 2 or 3 years ago where you're getting 10 offers, although I did have a few of those earlier this year, this past summer, on some units that were priced a little low, and we were in competition with 10 or 11 offers. But for the most part, even on these really good ones, I'm finding that the buyers are being patient, and we'll see where that trend goes throughout the fall and winter here. But there's not a lot of, desperation out there, I'm finding, with buyers. If it's a good unit, you can often get a couple of 2-3 offers on it. But I'm finding with my listings, the offers aren't going way, way above asking price. You're not getting 50, 60K over ask generally. And you're not getting 10 offers. You might be getting 3, 4 maybe, depending on where it was priced. But I'm noticing an early trend here on condos. It's still a pretty strong market, especially for the good stuff, as I say. Seller's market, favoring the seller. But there's not any crazy bidding wars really going on where you're getting 10 offers. And I'm finding now that the buyers have got a little more patience here. They're looking a little more, taking their time. Now, the other side of that, for sure, there are some condos that are sitting. And those I'm starting to see some early price reductions coming on. But again, those generally aren't units that I'm really all that interested in. I'm always working with buyers, but unless they really started slashing these prices and made it intriguing for me, I'm not interested. So that's the thing you've got to remember. I am seeing some early signs in the condo market that maybe it's softening a bit. But again, there's two worlds of condos here, and the really good stuff is still remains strong. I can tell you guys, even back in some of our corrections, like in 08, 09, or in 2012, when we were in a buyer's market, even these really good stratas, I can tell you, I was even still getting into sometimes some multiple offers in a buyer's market. And that's the thing. The insiders know, and it's not surprising either. A lot of times it's the same gaggle of realtors here that I'm in competition with. There's a core group of us, that oftentimes are going after the same stratas. So it's a bit of two worlds on stratas, but the detached market remains strong. Last thing I'll just say, and I've talked about it many times, I can't stress this enough. I still see in the media, we've got some dark clouds right now in the downtown market for a number of reasons. COVID, of course. The COVID has exacerbated the homeless problems, we know that, the open drug use. I notice it here in the West End and in Yaletown. The streets are a little dirtier, more garbage. The city, of course, has cut way back on its cleaning and sanitation. They're running a tight budget like they always do. They've recently bought those SROs, this one over on Granville Street, the Howard Johnson. We've got the insurance issue, which I'll do another blog later this fall on. So, a lot of people are kind of down on the downtown market, especially too, the work from home. The idea, though, of everyone's going to buy a detached house, forget that. That's a pipe dream. Don't count out the downtown market. If anything, folks, later this fall and winter and coming into winter 2021, there could be some good buying windows there, depending on how all this COVID goes and when we get a vaccine. I'm going to be seriously looking at buying something this winter in the right strata if I can get it at the right price. I'm already near, not far off from it now. So don't count out the downtown market. We will get through the COVID. The streets will start to get clean again. Maybe our mayor, maybe we'll boot him out and get a more aggressive mayor on the homeless situation. I'll do a blog one of these days on the downtown east side and everything that's gone on there. Apparently we're pumping about $1 million a day into that. We've been doing that for over a decade and we've got nothing to show for it. It gets worse. It's crazy. There's some guys on Twitter you can follow right now on some of the, and I've posted a few things on my Twitter account recently on some of the madness that's going on downtown with some of these SROs and some of the people they've moved from Oppenheimer Park. Now they've got the audacity to want to put a safe injection site, I think, in Yaletown, for God's sake. That's got to be one of the, City of Vancouver does a lot of dumb stuff. That one might be one of the worst. But there's some dark clouds, but we will get through these. Look at any downturns here this winter. If you can get the right unit at the right price, there's a good buying window. It will recover. The good cities like Vancouver and New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles and Portland, they're all going through the same thing. They will always recover. These desirable cities will always be in demand, but COVID is unprecedented. We wouldn't be here. These streets wouldn't be like this and a lot of these issues if it wasn't for COVID. And COVID is a temporary thing. It is. So don't count it out. Just like I've done a few blogs here talking about, the downtown office market. Yes, a lot of people are working from home now, but that is a temporary thing. 2 years from now, you'll see, or a year, maybe sooner. For the most part, maybe they will allow you to work a Friday from home, but offices are not going anywhere. Living and working and being able to walk to your office in downtown Vancouver is huge. And that will never lose its luster. If anything, I talked about that my annual convention, and the economists were talking about, you know, the flight to quality, the flight to these desirable lifestyle type cities where you can live and work and go to dinner and bars, and everything is a bike ride or a walk away. Vancouver is in a rare breed there. Vancouver, San Francisco, New York City, Chicago to some extent, Toronto a bit. That's it. And of course, London and the European cities. So don't count out the downtown market. And it would be nice if everyone could afford a $1.6 or $1.7 million detached home. I'm sure everyone would love that. But the affordability is really the bottom line here. And then, of course, the lifestyle in living in downtown condos. The other thing I'll talk about later this fall, you know, the insurance situation, I think the worst is over with that, and the cavalry is on the way. I'll do another blog on this. I think that's going to improve. And again, give it another year or two. I think the worst is definitely over on those increases. We're not going to see 100, 150% increases here going forward. This was kind of a catch-up this year and earlier last year. So we'll see where that goes. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.